Oh, sweet. Yes. I love seeing that. That's great. So, plenty of DK2s around. Make sure to stick around and give things a try. How this works is that we usually have a few minutes, 30 minutes to an hour speakers. It'll probably be on the short side today, and then we transform the room, and it's all demo action. So that is how it rolls. So prepare yourself. Your minds will be blown. All right. Without further ado, let's bring up David from Pantomime doing some very interesting things with mobile and virtual spaces. So let's welcome him to the stage.
Thank you. It's really great. It's really exciting to be here. I was here last time and met many of you. But this is sort of a coming out party for Pantomime. There's a bigger official one. This is the private one, just for you. The official one is October 28th. But this is the first time that we're showing a bunch of our technology to the public. I'm very excited. I've been in virtual reality since 1991, when I was a research scientist, an employee at BPL Research. When they were making their first head-mounted displays and VR systems, their reality built for two. Jerry Lanier, Chuck Blanchard. Lanier, of course, coined the term VR. You know, there's so many things that we said in 25 years, and now it's come. And right at the time that the iPhone 4 came out with its gyroscope in it, I was like, I think we can solve some of the problems that those old Polemuses didn't solve very well, those jerky magnetic sensors for motion. But I didn't quite have the VR solution for it yet. But why don't I just play, and then the iPad 2 came out. I was like, oh my goodness, this code I was working on will work way better on that. Now that we have some speed, I'm going to reset and maybe it'll give a high resolution image. Yeah! So this is a program called Invisibility 3D, and it wound up, you know, it's a silly little thing that lets you move your iPad over a surface and it looks as if you're looking right through it. Here's another slightly different look at what that program did. I mean, oh wait, I'm going to reset that too so we get full resolution. And skip an ad.
Nothing is worse than stinking up the shared toilet.
Tempted as I am to watch it. So this created kind of a sweet illusion that you're looking directly through your device. Even if you move the device, it kept looking that way using the gyroscopes. And it was very cool. And actually, All Things Digital noticed it, and Stephen Levy noticed it, and Gizmodo loved it, and it wound up becoming the #1 paid iPad entertainment app. Back in those days, back in the days of paid apps. But it was pretty exciting, especially since it only ran on the iPad 2 because of the gyro. And that meant that even though very few iPads at that point were iPad 2s, everybody was excited about it in a fun way. It's really thrilling but it's, you know, and it cast a nice bow shadow of the iPad as you're looking through it. But eventually you had to say, you know, but if you lifted it more than 15 degrees, it didn't look right. It was a trick that only lasted a few seconds. And it kind of nagged at me, that maybe there was more we could do with it. And the answer was yes, and that turned into what's now called Pantomime. So actually, let me show you. Let me go to Vimeo for a second and show you. So it'll be, you know, I love hands-on, and this is really, you know, I couldn't stand up on a room with a 10-inch screen and show you most of this, so we'll have to do it this way on the projector. But later, of course, we'll show more. And this is an app that's actually in the store now, and this is sort of a tutorial, and it really explains. Okay, so the problem with VR, there's a two or three big problems with VR, and it seems like Pantomime can help solve all three of them. One of them is mobility. One of the, when you're in virtual reality, it's a limited space. What's the limited space? Is it the length of a cable? Is it how far you could wander away from a camera or a sensor? What would make VR really mobile? Of course, the answer is no cables and no cameras trying to get an external point of view on you. And we are VR mobile through a zoo, and this is how we do it. The trick is to have a clear demarcation between when you're moving in the virtual reality world and when you're moving the virtual reality world itself. And you want it to be easy to do both. You want to be able to travel in virtual reality without getting up, and you want to be able to you want to be able to move as if you were really in it. So let me show you this video, and it'll clarify some of that. How do I? Yes.
Pantomime 3D is the first truly interactive augmented reality technology. Now you can reach into realistic VR and augmented reality worlds by touching and paddling objects with your mobile device. There are three simple, natural ways to move the iPad through the augmented reality world: walking, panning, and paddling. So it's easy to move around, reach in, and play. To walk, keep one corner fixed on the table, lift another corner, and turn or tip it in the direction you want to go. The corners are your feet. You lift one foot, move it forward, set it down, and lift another one. You're very naturally walking across the table. Panning is stroking the screen to move the iPad through the virtual world, like scrolling in other apps. Then horizontally to move left and right, vertically for forward and back. Lift your finger as you pan, and you even have momentum. To turn, use two fingers, or two thumbs, and twist. To paddle, simply grab the iPad with one hand, your thumb on the screen, and swing from your wrist. By your thumb grip, the app knows the iPad isn't resting on the table anymore, and it knows where your wrist is. So it can keep the virtual world in place as you swing the iPad through it. When you tip and turn the iPad, walk it around the tabletop on its corners, and paddle from your wrist. The virtual reality world stays solidly in one place on the wheel table as you move through it, touching and paddling things with your iPad. That's the magic of interactive augmented reality.
So you can see that when I walk or rotate in any way, I'm moving through the virtual reality world. But when I move in a line, I'm moving the world. And you want both capabilities in your system, or it's not a complete mobile system, we might argue. I'm going to stop the simulation that's making that annoying sound for a minute. Let's pause something. Okay. So we solved a bunch of the 3D problems using the basic concept there that if you know how a device is supported and you know how it's turning, and it's kind of interesting, right? Because there's the real and the virtual world. When you're on a surface with a device like this, it may have a support, and it also has a support in virtual reality. If I move it like this, I'm moving relative to both supports in the same way. Right now, it's not really supported by that corner, but if I move it the same way, it will behave, its relative motion is the same, and I'll be able to move through the world that way. So in effect, I carry the support, and it's a flat surface, the support surface with me, and I wind up being able to take the virtual reality worlds anyway, rather than, have my camera or the thing that is looking at me. So in other words, relative motion is the key to a mobile solution like Pantomime, and we've found some important solutions in that space. Let's see. So as you can see, these are a bunch of private videos, but since you're so special, you'll see them publicly for the first time. Pantomime is the first interactive
virtual
informal.
augmented reality system that uses a support model for extremely accurate interactive behavior. Here is an iPad that looks like it's made of glass, but it's a funny iPad because if I turn it around, you can see the backside. It's not really made of glass. It's sort of a one-way glass. And that's only the beginning. I'm moving around on the table. You can hear it landing on its corners on the table. But they're virtual corners. And part of what makes this a mobile technology is that the table surface, including the corner hit sounds, travel with the device. So you can play anywhere. In a car, on a bus, in your lap. The virtual world comes with you. I can roll, I can tumble, I can float. That's all reflected in my motion in the virtual world. And I can interact. Every device that has a screen in Pantomime has its own point of view on the scene. See here, here's another iPad's point of view, and this iPad is wearing a green grip case.
Sometimes it's hard to tell what's the simulation, right?
Look into the mirror.
We get confused because they're making the same
Navigate
motion.
by moving, but simple full screen gestures for panning and turning give me full control, even though I'm hardly moving my iPad at all. Pantomime's unique support model not only handles balancing on any corner or edge of the device or the surface of it, but actually lets you be supported by your hand by gripping the screen. And indeed, you can interact with your hand as the entire support, or even subtle things like multiple supports. Here I am supporting the device with my hand, but also scraping it against the table in a way that's pushing my wrist upward. Now, that's not a problem for Pantomime. In fact, I can easily switch just by releasing my grip, and it's a seamless transition from support by the table to support by the hand, or the other hand. Swing from your wrist and have a perfectly natural interaction with the virtual world.
So does that get it across? Thank you. So those, when we started doing virtual reality, and John would say, oh, it's about the clothing that, and I was like, gee, does it really have to, is that really central? I mean, and there's a simulation and there's the sharing. They're the things that make it reality. To me, physical realism, sharing, consensus defines reality. And maybe even clothing could be optional. But many points of view. What I mean is, no, really. Gotta watch that. So, what I mean is, and if this is significant, clothing is invasive. Putting something on your face is very invasive. Couldn't be more invasive. There's really two polar extremes. And my business partner and co-founder, Don Hopkins, original programmer for The Sims, but still the most successful game franchise in history, PC game franchise. His advisor was Mark Weiser, the late Mark Weiser, was so insightful about what would be the ubiquitous computing of the 21st century. And his point was the same way people mistook, people in the 19th century said, gee, someday everybody will have a personal motor, and there'll be pulleys all over their house, and it'll be centralized. Mark was saying, no, computing will be ubiquitous. There'll be so many devices with processors and screens that it will be a matter of how they coordinate and cooperate and believe the same thing, rather than the one that you're funneling everything through. And virtual reality is sort of, and he spoke specifically about how the opposite of that is blocking out the whole rest of the world, not seeing any other devices, not seeing any other anything, and just looking through one of them. That's a retardation of the inevitable ubiquitous computing future. And he saw it, and he's right. And you know, now there are hundreds of mobile devices in this room, and Pantomime's mission is to make sure that all of them can participate in the same or different virtual realities wherever you are, and not require you to put anything on, to wear any clothing or put anything on your face, virtual reality is about the worlds and the sharing. It doesn't have to be synonymous with headsets, and Pantomime is Pantomime is about that. So I'm grateful to people like Don and Mark Weiser for continuing that vision. Let's see. So this is another kind of informal one. Literally, my son is a morning person. He was going to bed. I said, no, play with this software a couple nights ago. And his friend was there. He was supposed to be paying attention to the camera, but he didn't do anything except, can I play? And so here we are in front of my Mac with an iPad mini and an iPad Air. And we're playing around with what will become one of our first products, or prototype of it. It's a game with an absurdly live ball, no real friction. And maybe some of you will get to play with it here because I brought the iPads that have on it. But you wind up being able to play handball against the wall. Look, it's kind of sweet. You know, I wondered, well, gee, these devices have kind of, the screens are small enough that your field of view is small. Are you really going to be able to play a game? Oh, is that? I don't hear it. So we have this remarkable interaction where he knew just how to play. He really had hardly played with it before. And the excitement of chasing a ball and almost getting it out and not getting it out was already mixed with the figuring out what this new medium is.
I can see your screen.
We put gravity way low, so so you're not in a panic and can easily chase things if you need to. Okay. Oops. My bad. So ground balls are great in this particular medium. Let's do it. In fact, every time you hit it, you add a little energy to it. Getting distracted by email. Can you get that? Isn't that close? I guess if you make the cord a little wider, that's a little easier to get. Boom. So playing doubles or handing off back and forth, you see, it's totally within reason. And you can do the balancing, but you can also do the lifting. We wouldn't do too much of that in this particular event, but lifting the thing off your hand is easy. Lifting the device in the air or balancing it. The other nice advantage of balancing, it's a little bit like rather than your own screen, make especially for larger devices like tablets. You don't want to be playing games for hours and supporting its entire weight. So having it be balanced on the table a lot of the time or paddling when you want to is a pretty reasonable way to manage it. Oops. Oh, I did. Wow, there's so many layers and reflections and translucency. We just realized that the ball would get lost unless we made it so the iPads were transparent or translucent no matter which way you look through them. Oh wait, I'm going to try a pattern. So let me get this ball off the court and try a pattern. So choose that. Pick it up. That was when we were hiding the hand, and we just showed a purple dot. But again, you guys are privileged. Oh, and there's the guy saying, "Hey, I'm tired of filming this. Let me in." So that gives you a glimpse of what real-time gaming in pantomime is going to be like. So maybe this is a good time to actually play with a mobile device in front of the group. I'm not sure how that's going to work. So I'm going to change to my special local network. And do I have a time limit coming up, or am I relatively free on account of it?
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, there's a little easel here, so my machine will just fall on the floor. I guess it's helpful if I can see. Let's see. I guess I don't have to turn that around if I focus on the big screen. And wait, I'm sorry. Turn for that. Oh, great. Okay. And so one of the things you see in the mirror is that this system right now thinks that this Mac is an iPad. We actually have models. I mean, part of this pantomime future is that if you have a 3D model of every device that you interact with, you can have a really great experience interacting in physically realistic models. And we've got every iOS device already in the system, and we've started in with Android. And if I took a minute to, that Mac would look like a Mac. And you can lean on its keyboard and silly things like that. But let me, where's Dave Arendash? Maybe we can try a two-person volley. This may fail, by the way. Dave has not really played with this before, but actually, why doesn't Dave get ready, and I will do a little bit of solo handball while he's on the way. Right now, I'm just going to do solo handball, and the ball went out, and I'm going to do a ground ball. Let's see. Let me turn this audio up a little bit. I don't know who's going to hear it. That's actually use this one. And let's see. There you are. Yeah. So that's scrolling in and out, left and right, and that's turning around. You look through the black side, and if you wanted to. Let's let you see your hand. So when you put your thumb on the screen, you can see your hand. And so we're going to try and have a volley across the screen. Maybe. Yes. But of course, if you want to face the right way, you just do the twist right. And the other great, freedom not to move is an important part of mobility. A lot of augmented reality systems, you're reaching over the table because that's where the camera believes that device is. And with this, you can always keep the device at a comfortable distance, and then and do what you need to move the virtual world around you. So if you slide over, and where the ball is will sort of be between us, and I can gently nestle over to you and give it a little momentum in your direction. But you're off to the left there. So keep in mind that reaching out isn't going to really get you closer to it. But take your hand off for a second. And oh yeah, one of the things that will change, you can't pan while you're paddling. So you don't want to have the paddling with your thumb as the default position. You have to take your thumb off in order to move. Ah, what happened? Cable popped off. No. Okay, but the plug is out. I'll put it back in. Perfect. So you wind up swinging from your wrist, in this case, and so now you'll be able to move left and right easily without your thumb on the screen, and we can sort of line up, and I can see you there, and I'll nudge the ball towards you. I see you. You see me? The ball bounced away, and there's the fresh one. So I'm gonna just knock that out of the way, and a new one will appear between us, and one of us will push it toward the other, and we'll begin a volley. Hello. Ooh. Okay. Now, if you slide over at that point, you get it again, but that was my point. And that was a little high, but if you tip it up, then you'll get it. And grounders are good in this medium. And just, oh, that was a terrible high pop.
I think we're ready to wrap it up.
Okay, give me a moment here. Well, I think you get the idea. And, like I said, this is an early version where we've got an absurdly live ball with no friction. We're going to tune this up so that it's rather easy to play, and so that people can have multiplayer experiences both on local networks like this or anywhere on the internet. And that is a summary of pantomime. Now, before I step away, several things. Are there any? Are there Unity engineers here? Are there Unreal Engine? Yes. And maybe Crytek? Not too many. Whoa, somebody. Okay, let's talk. Because what we're doing is deploying this internationally just as fast as we can, and making SDKs so that all of you are empowered at a reasonable price to make reach into virtual reality things. Keep in mind, the STEM systems is amazing. The LEAP systems are amazing. This is a way for 1 billion existing devices that nobody has to pay an extra dime for to reach into virtual reality and interact. I wish Corey was here because it seems like a perfect match for the Oculus and the new Sony VR and all of the VR systems that are great at looking around but need some way to reach in. And we want that to be the mobile device that you already have. And we're developing the software kits. Please come to me if you're interested in being a beta tester or what have you. Another thing is, would anybody like to have a year or a lifetime of free pantomime service? Because we're thinking about we're going to do a Kickstarter. I think this seems like it might be a great match for a Kickstarter, right? If you have ideas about what you would like as a benefit from this kind of experience, please talk to me afterward too. Thanks very much.
All right, thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very cool. All right, moving right along, we have some good stuff. It's going to be from a few of our people in the audience. So first, we're going to have Rob from 3 here, who's going to come up and speak to us. And after that, we're going to have some Q&A about the VR hackathon that's coming up very soon. So that should be pretty cool. And then after that, I believe we're going to have just kind of open thing announcements and then transition into demos. So Rob from 3 here, take it away. Welcome to the stage.
Rob. I'm from a small company called 3-Gear Systems. Actually, the whole company is here today. They're right over there. You guys want to raise your hand? We're basically 4 guys who've been developing hand tracking, skeletal tracking technology. We've been around for a little while. We were supporting other types of cameras like the Kinect or the Soft Kinetic or other cameras out there. But recently we've been focusing on time-of-flight cameras and even looking into building a camera module of our own using time-of-flight technology. I wanted to show you a little bit about what we're trying to do. This is basically tracking of the hands and tracking of the hands and fingers. So it's a skeletal model, so it understands that this is like an index finger, and this is part of a skeleton of a hand. Let me just, you can kind of maybe see my hand as well as the screen at the same time, so you can get a sense of the latency involved in the system. And what we'd like to do is we're trying to take some of this technology and apply it to virtual reality. So a couple months ago, I think I came over here and I was asking the crowd, are you guys interested in bringing hands to virtual reality? I'll ask that question again, actually. Are you guys interested in having hands in VR? Or is that a... Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. There was positive feedback, so we, as a small team, we've been kind of iterating on making the hand tracking a little bit better for virtual reality. And this time we actually came with a prototype that almost worked. It's a camera that's a little bit... Actually, let me just show you what it looks like. These are some photos I took today. So this is a camera that's pretty small. It's also going to be pretty cheap, and it's a time-of-flight camera, which means it's basically shooting out light and trying to figure out how long it took to come back, or basically the phase offset of the light coming back. If you want to learn more about time-of-flight, we have a time-of-flight camera company right here, right in Soft Kinetic, and we're trying to do a system that actually just snaps onto a Oculus Rift DK2. So there's a little clip that kind of shields the 2 wires on the DK2, and we have a little replacement for it. It looks kind of like this, right? And you can just snap on a camera. And the type of things that you can do with this, this is still very, very early, and it doesn't work quite as well as it looks like in this video. So you can kind of get a sense that it's able to pick up your hands and fingers. You're able to understand what your hands and fingers are doing. This is not just a 3D point cloud, it's actually skeletal tracking of the hands and fingers. You can try to pick up stuff and put things in things and take things out of things. Yeah, that's the type of thing we're doing. We're also considering maybe putting together some demos where you can actually have some superpowers or something like that. This is still very early, or have some kind of fine grain manipulation, things where you have to this is really a hokey example, but imagine that you're in front of a door and you have to open it, and you're like, oh, you just cross the 2 wires and you can open the door. That's how most doors work. And this is a system that lets you possibly do that kind of thing. So anyway, those are the type of things we're trying to do. Once again, we're called 3-Gear Systems. We do skeletal hand tracking, finger tracking stuff. That's it. Yeah. It doesn't work. So basically, it kind of works up until this point, and then like if you really really cross your hands. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a problem with optical tracking. If you want perfect, like this stuff, right? It's going to be, yeah, you're going to block your other hand, so we can't really know what's going on. So that's life. Yeah. Yeah, you can solve it with multiple cameras. So like this example, right? If I had a camera that was like on my forehead and another camera that was like front facing, like on my laptop, like here, then yeah, you could certainly help resolve those things. Multiple cameras are hard to set up. Like it's tough for consumers to do it, and it's even tough for developers to set it up right. We used to have a 2-camera system, 2 giant Kinects looking down at your desk, and just calibrating that was a pain. It was, yeah. Okay, so we have some demos set up, and you can try it out later.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Rob. Cool, excellent. We're gonna have Tim from Soft Kinetic come on up and tell us a little bit about what Soft Kinetic is up to. Right.
I don't have a presentation, so I'm just going to talk. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. So, thanks, Rob. We know each other. We're in the same space. We're both doing gesture software. We're both doing time-of-flight cameras. We're also mounting cameras to the front of an Oculus DK2. So we mount, this is a camera you can buy today off Amazon for $169. It's the same camera that was used in the Intel perceptual computing platform. It's got a time-of-flight camera in it, depth camera, it's got a color camera, stereo mics. You can go to our website right now. We're sponsoring a contest starting this week. We're giving away GDC 2014 passes for the best VR experience that's used with hand tracking and gesture tracking with the DK2 platform. We provide a Unity toolkit along with our gesture library, and you can go out and buy the cameras and a printable bracket. So I encourage you to come over and talk to us. Just a little corporate background. We do 3D time-of-flight sensors. We do 3D time-of-flight cameras based on those sensors, and we do application software and middleware. We've got the gesture software that's in the Intel perceptual computing platform. We also do the full-body skeletal tracking in the Sony PS4. So come over and see us. I can answer any more questions about time-of-flight or depth or gesture if anybody has any that didn't get Rob in the answer too. So. Okay, thanks.
All right, I think we're going to have Carl say a few words, and then we're going to move on to the VR hackathon. Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Carl, take it away.
All right. I just wanted to say hi and say a couple words. We have, unfortunately, Corey could not make it tonight. We're going to get him back here, Corey Andreka from Facebook, former co-founder of Linden Lab, creators of Second Life. So there is a long history in the Facebook acquisition of Oculus, and he'll get into that when he comes, hopefully next time. But we do have some really great, we're going to have a little extra demo time today. I want to thank David for coming up and showing what he's doing. It's really great to see people who've been doing stuff in VR for a long time. And it's also really great to see people trying different approaches. VR does not necessarily always have to mean the Oculus. There are a lot of definitions and a lot of approaches, and we're going to see a lot of HMDs. And I'm really excited that we are seeing our hands come to VR. I think we're seeing a theme here. Our hands are coming, and that's exciting because we need that. And there's a lot of approaches to that. That's really good. So we're now going to have Amir Rubin, of our friend from Sixth Sense, who is going to give us an update on the STEM. Yeah. All right.
Good evening, everybody. I see we have a full house as always. We've been coming to calls SVVR since May of 2013. This is by far the oldest, the first meetup, but more importantly, I believe it's the best one. And we participated in all of them. You know, I can tell you from up and down, Seattle down to Orange County and all the way to the East Coast. We have a special emotional attachment to this group. Everything we ever done in virtual reality, we always ran first. Never made anyone sign NDAs, always ran first the most confidential and most private ideas that our dev team were coming with. Our creative director over there, Danny Woodall. Behind him, Owen, our lead programmer, Scott. Behind him is dealing with all the developers. And I can tell you this, we will be shipping the prototypes, the initial prototypes, coming starting November 6th. And the difference between the product, the Kickstarter, to the Kickstarter supporters and the actual mass market product is that the initial, what we call prototypes, are going to use 3D printed plastic housing. We've yet to manage to crack the problems that we are suffering from the tooling in China. So we will release it all. It's very expensive, but it is required of us to provide it to the early developers that order those. And the first 100 units are going to be numbered from 001 to 100. And 001 will be donated to SVVR. We clearly believe that Na and Carl, both, and Bruce, he's part of All Space now.
We still have a piece of him.
He's been a great friend and very important. Opened our Kickstarter video and Cymatic Bruce, I'll take it back and I'll include Bruce with us. Admit my mistake. We want and we will consider SVVR as long as we continue this adventure in virtual reality. We will consider this event to be the event that will always be part of any new idea that our group, our team comes with. And we intend to share with you and accept and listen to your opinions, criticism, and feedback, and do the best we can to implement. And we believe and we hope that you guys feel that we have done so for the last, it's now more than, I would say, 15, 16 months into it. So, I would like to, if you have any questions about the STEM, you can come and ask now if you want, or you can come later. We are showing the lightsaber demo. And you have the dev team there, so if you're a developer, ask Owen or Danny about the SDK that will be released in beta. We'll support, I'm not making it as an official announcement, but we'll support both Linux, Mac OS, of course the Windows, and we'll have full support for Gear VR, full support for Android. We hope on November 6th to actually show you a full demo. We hope, there's no guarantees, a full demo of Gear VR with full head tracking, with full position tracking, and with one controller at a latency of wireless with Bluetooth low energy, communicating straight to the Note 4 at 7.5 milliseconds. Pair controller and pair head tracking on position tracking. It's a hope. We have a good chance to do it, but let's see how we do. Again, it's going to be the first time it's ever been shown. And with that, it's all yours. Do you have any questions?
Thanks, Amir. I just want to call Amir out for being so awesome, because seriously, here's a company that comes to every meetup, that engages with the community month after month, showing prototypes, iterations, giving us updates every month. I mean, you can't ask for better communication with your users and customers and community than 6 Sense does. I think it's fantastic, and I think he's really setting an example for, you know, the relationship between a company and the community and of customers, and it's fantastic. So thanks, Amir. All right, so we are now going to, so as most of you know, there is a VR hackathon coming up in October. We have Mike somewhere here. Where's Mike? Who's going to come up and answer some questions about that. Yeah, I wanted to give that a little extra time because that is now in a week or so, right? It's coming up fast. Here's a mic for you.
Okay.
And you can take it away.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? I've been talking about this VR hackathon now for a few months, and it's really going to happen. It's next week. It's going to be in San Francisco. It kicks off Friday night with what we call a mega meetup, which is free. There should be an open bar, and that's where you can get together with people that you know or people that you don't know to form teams, and then the hackathon proper starts the next day on Saturday. We've got thousands of dollars in cash prizes. We've got thousands of dollars in hardware prizes. There's multiple categories. The fee for the hackathon is $25, and the reason, I know some hackathons are usually free, but we have to pay for all the expenses. Just to let you know, this is being organized by the Web3D Consortium, which is a nonprofit, and it's for the community. Actually, the idea originally came from Dave Arendash over there. Dave, wave your hand. And so the Web3D Consortium, which has an open, royalty-free, ISO-ratified standard for 3D, which supports, prevents vendor lock-in and protection of your content for the community, decided that we should do this for the community. And so if there's any extra money left over, we're kicking it right back into the cash prizes. So the reason the reason that we're trying to, we have to charge is we're just trying to cover the expenses for all 3 nights. Saturday has breakfast, lunch, dinner. Sunday has breakfast and lunch. And so it'll be at the Gray Area Foundation for the Arts Art and Technology Theater, which is a recently renovated 1940s theater on Mission near 24th. It's very close to the 24th Street BART station. Parking is not going to be very easy around there, so I would suggest parking somewhere else and taking BART in. So with that, does anyone have any questions? The website, vrhackathon.com and hashtag vrhackathon. Any questions? Hopefully everyone will be there. We've got big sponsors. 6 Sense is sponsoring, Sony is sponsoring, Leap is sponsoring, Node Lab is sponsoring. We've got Unity licenses. I've got 3 DK2s that can be used by teams, and there'll be 3 DK2s given away as part of the prizes. There'll be Unity licenses given away. Yeah, you can bring everything. This is a vendor agnostic type of. This is for the community, so you can bring whatever you want. You could bring Wii Fits, you can bring Wii Boats, you can bring 6 Sense, you can bring Hydras, you can bring whatever you want. And a cave, right? If you want to bring a little mini cave, you can. And you can also, you can bring your Dojo case. Yeah, Dojo case is going to be a sponsor too. So, and there'll be Dojo cases given away. Well, so the way that we have that is we said that there has to be a local team, a local person. If you want to have an international team somewhere else doing all the coding or whatever, but there has to be one local person. But you can field a team remotely, but there has to be a local person at the hackathon. Yeah.
For people who've never been to hackathon, can you brief description of what's going on?
Yeah, so like I said, Friday night is sort of like a mega meetup where it's sort of a socialization hour. There'll be a couple of presentations, but you essentially meet people, form teams, and socialize with people, talk about VR. And then Saturday morning, we kick it off. There's going to be a sort of a lightning rounds to go over the sponsors and for them to give a little talk on their technology. Then people start coding. Essentially, they form in groups spontaneously or from last night, get together, and they focus on, usually because there's multiple categories, and you can go to the website to see them. There's web, mobile, there's a health category, and there's there's a best looking category, things like that. So they coalesce around what they want to do, and they get together and start coding. There will also be a couple of workshops for some of the gold sponsors where they're going to give a more extensive background and then also maybe examples on how to use their APIs or their hardware and simple coding examples. And then it's just coding, and I'm working. We'll have the sponsors and also Web3D. They'll have mentors around that can help people use the software, the technology, and then you code Saturday, and some hackathons they stay all night, and we'll make provisions to do that if you'd like to. And then on Sunday, at the end of towards the end of the day, there'll be judges. The judges are secret. Some places they announce judges. We're not announcing those because we don't want to have any people sort of bias or essentially focus on the judges. So there'll be secret judges, and then they'll be judged based on different categories. And there may be some different sets of judges based on the categories. And that's when the prizes are given out by the end of the day. So that's sort of a quick overview, yeah. Well, yeah, they can, we'll have to, the team that, if they have a demo, they'll give them the Rift to try. And you can also, we'll also show it on the screen. But yeah, if you're going to do something with a Rift, then you need to supply them with a Rift so they can see it. Yeah, they're going to have to experience it. How many judges? Well, we're shooting from about 4 or 5. No. They can do it sequentially. And like I said, I have 3 Rifts too that are being loaned to me by Oculus just for this event. So I already got 3 that we can use right away. Well,
or your estimate ballpark?
My estimate ballpark, probably around 20, maybe a little more. Teams are, I think there's going to be, there could be, people wait till the last minute to, wait till the last minute to sign up. We've got around 50 signups now. That I know a lot of people are going to sign up at the meetup, that mega meetup, and more are going to sign at the very last minute. I figure there's going to be at least 100 people there, 150, and the teams are usually in the average about 5 per team. So that's pretty smooth. The what? Okay, you must have been talking with Damon about this one. So you get me talking. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's why I didn't know, because that's what MindVR's contribution is. Was there another question? Yeah. Hey, Eric.
I did a podcast on this too with SVVR.net with Chris. So it has some more details about the energy event and what role you can have to check it out, Mike, or SVVR.net.
So Eric's is also one of the organizers with me and Damon, so running it. So if you have questions later on afterwards, you can seek us out. Anything else? It's going to be real good. You don't have to be technical. We're trying to bring in, essentially a whole ecosystem. Obviously you need technology, you need user interface people, and you also need artists. So, don't feel intimidated if you're not fully technical, because there's going to be a need for all those type of people at this event. This is supposed to be a community event. Okay? Thanks a lot.
Thanks for doing that, Mike. It's a fantastic thing, all of you who are involved in the VR Hackathon. Thanks a lot for doing that.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap up with Victor from Luxury, and then have a few open announcements, and then we'll be transforming the room for demo. So, Victor, come on.
So, hi everybody. So, hi everybody. So basically, what we do is a face tracking, like hands tracking, but it's a face tracking technology. And because we track the face, we can change it on the fly. Like, and that's real-time video. So that's original and that's modified. The difference is that the face is more skinny, nose is more skinny. We remove blemishes from the face, and we have funny eye color, and we can change eye color to something else. And then you have like number of filters. So you can have like a big eyes. I have like huge eyes, you know, or really big chin. You see here. Or I can be burning skull. Burning skull here, yeah. Or a funny talking cat. When I move eyebrows, it actually moves his ears, right? Funny cat. And then there is a lot of fun around it. So you can track such things like opening mouth wide. So basically, it turns it into zombie. And then like things like your X-ray. People ask me, how do you do this? Where is X-ray? So of course there is no X-ray. And then basically that's how it works. So we track the face, and because we can track the face, we can change it in real time on the smartphones. So it's the first time it's done on the smartphones and in real time. And basically, and then after you kind of did recording, you can send it to friends. Yeah, using a messenger. Sorry, I need to enter my phone number. First time only. Now you know my phone number. Yeah, 1 moment. 8 5 7 5 9 3 5 9. And yeah, I need also SMS. Comes for 1 0 5 09. It's only the first time, so sorry, I just installed a new version. And then you can have all your friends import it and basically start sending messages. So probably first time will take some time. So just a question for you: how do you think this technology can be used? Any guesses? Where it can be applied?
Could you like take off the Oculus Rift on someone's face in virtual reality?
Yeah, that's a good idea. We never thought about it actually. So yeah, anybody else? That's why I'm asking. You know. Any other ideas how this technology can be used? On Tinder. Yeah. You're right. You know, it's some people say it's photoshopping, but with one button click. But it's not it shouldn't be integrated. You could just make photo, upload it to Tinder. So there's no, like, Tinder would not need us. They will get it anyway, right? Yeah.
Do you offer an SDK for this, or you want to commercialize it the way it is?
So right now we are launching a B2C app, and we also licensing technology, but we are right now licensing to big guys, like to handset manufacturers, big handset manufacturers, mobile carriers, and also call centers. The issue is that once we kind of did all the tweaks and really stabilized SDK, we will launch it publicly for developers. But this is going to happen maybe mid next year. And right now it's available as a so right now we can do a project with you, but then we need some customization and some resources dedicated to this project. Yeah.
Can these make up a person, make your hair be better, just real time, so you understand? Shave yourself if you have the shape. Can it shave yourself?
Shave. so in real time, basically, you can switch between different filters.
Yeah, but this is a different than shaving, because shaving is just a minor, like it's a moderate retouch
Yeah.
of the way you appear. And in order to make it realistic, it needs to keep tracking your face in time.
Yeah. So there are a few things are possible. Like we can change completely everything what we track, like your eyebrows, your eyes, your nose, your chin, your cheeks, your ears, right? Hair is not so easy. So like for the bald people, we can show hair, right? But if you already have hair, there are some issues because it's not so well defined, so tracking is more difficult. We might get hair tracked in the next release, in the next update. And right now we are launching P2C app like this Sunday. We are publishing it in App Store. So maybe next week it's going to be live, or maybe in 2 weeks. So it depends on Apple approval. And Android version comes in 2 months. Yeah, and in general, just to come back, so the technology, of course, also can be used by handset manufacturers to extend default camera, right? And then by mobile carriers as well to have some funny video communication, because right now video communication is not very attractive. People don't like to see themselves on the video, right? And the issue is that the frontal camera actually distorts your face. It makes it more fat. And that's how we came to the idea to fix this problem. So we track the face, make it more skinny, and then we added more fun, to play around. Okay, thank you everybody.
All right, that's about wraps it up. Before we go into demo station, just a quick round. If anyone wants to say a few words about what they're working on and what they're doing, please speak now or forever hold your peace. Go. Excellent. VR Audio Meetup. Sounds cool. And right there.
If anybody's interested in 3D printing, we're going to do a program on SVVR 3D printing. We're going to do a program on metal 3D printing at the Tuesday, October 21st at the Santa Clara Convention Center. Come see Cheryl down there.
Excellent. Cheryl, thank you. 3D printing will also be important as 6inch recently announced about putting their SIM sensors on 3D printed items, right? So you're going to want to learn about that. Very important. Oh, there we go. There's one right there. Sweet. So expertise you'll want to have for the future of VR. Right there. Check it out. What's up?
Hi, I'm Tim Tapp. I'm actually with Samsung Accelerator. A team that's working on AR, VR, looking beyond what the figure of VR is and into the future. We're looking for interaction designers, visual designers, and VR engineers. So if you guys want to work on cool stuff,
Sweet. Samsung Accelerator is a cool place. Just check them out. Very good. Also, Allspace VR, we're looking for people too. If you have some good front-end development, Java, please see us. JavaScript, not Java. JavaScript. We're looking for JavaScript. Crazies. All right, very good. Right here.
So, 2 things. We are starting up a Silicon Valley branch of Web3GL Meetup that's going to hit in about 3 weeks, I think. We're going to tentatively at the Google headquarters. So if anybody's into WebGL or 3D graphics in the browser, please come. And if anybody wants to demonstrate or bring some cool gizmotches, we're, be the first inaugural meetup. So I think so far we have 3 people showing gizmos and people to talk or anything like that. So contact me, Shannon, and you'll see it hit up the meetup. And also next year we're going to do a VR camp at Burning Man. Yeah. All right. So. Nice. I'm not messing around. It's going to take some work. It's going to be hard, and it doesn't come for free. It's not easy, but we're going to make it badass. I'm talking. I want a screen that big with a giant dancing Godzilla, okay, wearing a Prio VR suit, okay, and dancing with people with big sounds and everything. So let's make it cool, but you got to be part of it, and let's make it happen. So there's a Facebook group.
Along with that, we'll need some people to work on how to keep sand outside of the HMD. All right, very good. Olivier.
Yes, one announcement. I'm missing my voice because I did a podcast. But I've been here for a month, and because the community is so active and so dynamic, I was able, thanks to Carl, to stay 1 month. So I'm doing a full cycle of SVVR, which is a great pleasure. And so I've been here demoing for the last time in America. I hope it's not the last time forever. That's why what's going on. And one quick announcement is, I hope where we go be any rush, but it's Carl's birthday today.
Oh, no, it's not. Thank you. I couldn't say it. It's not actually my birthday today. I apparently entered it wrong on some site, Skype. But it is next week, so it's close enough. So thank you. All right. I think we have one more announcement.
So, as has been previously mentioned, my name is Lee. I'm doing my VR, and I'm just going to show some quick demos of cinematic VR. So, if you want to swing by over here, we talk cinema VR, ideas, techniques, and set. So that's it.
All right, that will do it. We're going to rearrange the room for demos. We have John Altspace, Gear VR, 3 Gears back
Luxury.
there. Luxury is going to be over there. Mine.
Soft kinetics, tactical haptics.
Tactical haptics up at front
VR.
along with stomps.
STEM.
Excellent. So please help us move chairs around. Please clean up after yourselves. The ants are industrious. And we'll prepare some VR demos. Thank you very much. I'll do it. That's going to be the digital projection of my digital self. I'm done. Pile them and kind of move them. All right. You still up?
Alright, let's see a thing.
Let's do it.
Can I see a thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Alright.
All right.
Try it. I want to try it.
Very good. Let me get you in. Before you do anything, let me just give you the quick overview. So we're trying to connect people in virtual spaces, give them the 2D web, something to do in that virtual space to connect over. So you'll have a floating browser that you'll be able to only see yourself. Browser to pick the public display that everyone can see. And there's a couple of spaces you can go between here. Just very quickly, you will be using the regular click as a teleport. Whenever the cursor is moving, that's a place you'll be able to teleport to. Hold down to get a preview, let go to get a teleport. This motion back and forth turns your body with the scroll wheel back and forth there. And then the right click will toggle your personal display that you can do stuff with there. So all we're going to do this, one person here, one person there. I will be here to kind of help you through. So let's get things started. So we got 2 people at a time. Want to get in here first? Right,
Sitting, standing?
Sitting, please. All right, look straight ahead. I'd like to recenter you here. All right, hold on. Let me. It's time to. All right, hold on 1 second.
Is what's your rendering engine?
Hold on. Let me get you a headset.
That might be difficult with the hearing aids, but we can try it. Just don't put it on the back here.
All right, is that right here?
Yeah, that's okay. Again, a little
No
bit
problem. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's good. power cable, that's not mine. The power cable I have is over here. So. Got it.
Dude, you really got some tearing in here. Is this Unity that you're running? What is this rendering?
But in addition to that, they also showed this kind of virtual places virtual environment.
Wow! I'm like looking at the edge of the world here. Wow. How do I get out of this damn chair?
I can see it kind of well now.
Oh, I'm trapped in a chair.
They're gonna do like better ones. We're considering VR as one of the other options. But honestly, there isn't a big market. It's still an experimental. So we don't really have to rush it. It's more important to find out the market. So investors that don't like VR.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's a battery powered ship.
Like, 3D printing.
Yeah, so it's how it's defaulting to the built-in graphics.
Ah!
Yeah, so it's
Alright. What else?
Just can't experience this immersive.
best laid plan.
You're going to need a headphone.
I do not need that chair.
Put it on your head right now.
Alright. Okay, so I'm stuck in this corner over here. How do I get out of this corner?
Alright, just a second. I can't actually see where you're at, so...
Okay, I'm right by the round chair thing.
Alright, so what you can do is right click. Is your menu up? Is there a personal display?
I've got a menu, yeah.
Okay, you want to right click to make sure that goes away. And then you can, after that, you can move the cursor around. When it's green, you can teleport to different locations.
I've teleported someplace completely different. Now I'm in a an area with a modern-looking house.
0% battery life. Automatically defaults to the Intel chip, so it won't run at 70 frames a second. So I'm going to try to see if this will run at, I meant for this to be the machine I'm using, but...
Well, no, you can be anywhere in the world as long as it's significant.
Good.
So the third thing that we're doing is extended web phases to like renders inside of virtual reality. We have all this great WebGL and all these great guys and APIs, but we're writing some extensions to allow renders.
All right. Alright, cool. Yeah, so are you using Unity or are you running?
Yeah, actually it's Unity.
Yeah. I figured you should have been pairing.
You guys have a little bit of a turn problem. Yeah. Unity unfortunately has that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right. Awesome. Good. Excellent. Let's have the next two folks in. All right, hold on before you put it on. All right, awesome. Excellent. So, just very, very quickly, what you're doing is this controls the teleport, regular click. You gotta nudge the scroll wheel left and right to turn your body, and right click to toggle your personal display. Yeah? All right. I'll let you just go at it. Ask questions. Feel free to ask questions and get headsets on you guys as well. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Nice unannounced test. We'll see you next time.